Welcome to Heart on Radio. We're here live in Sedona, Arizona with Mr. Rion De'Rouen, and he's just ready to rip.
Are you ready? You know, like the public out there listening to me as I vibrate through your eardrums. Are you ready? I'm here to rip. I want to access all of these Logia Akashic databases to assist you guys in your ascension process. I'm here to take care of some of the things that we are all processing and remove some of these blockages that have been slowing us down as a whole, as a community, as the consciousness on this planet.
Okay, thank you. So I am your host, Shauna Ava. I'll just get that out of the way. And this is a very inspired episode because I have had now 2 very personal experiences working with soul contracts. And this is something that Rion offers to his clients when they do sessions with him. And it's the first time I've actually engaged in it, and I had such an incredible, profound experience both times. So that's why we wanted to open up this topic, because it feels like the time is right, and this could be really impactful to your journey at this moment. So right off the bat, I just want to hear from you. How did you first get into soul contracts? Where did this information first come to you about the importance of soul contracts?
I suppose for me it was a visual connotation or visualization first. My third eye came on in 2009 as it became more and more detailed, where I was able to see not only narrowband vision, which is, you know, what I like to call, you can see perfectly into, say, the fourth dimension or the fifth dimension. When I began to operate at a higher level around 2014-15, I realized that my occupation drove my skill set to be enhanced so I could have broadband vision, which is staring through multiple dimensions simultaneously and then actually staring at the cables of which the consciousness runs on. Imagine looking up in the sky and seeing a bunch of fiber optic cables the size of fire hoses or bigger that actually stream the consciousness from the upper dimensions into the lower dimensions. The reason why my third eye was activated to this degree, which I call broadband vision, right, or God's eye, is I had to track multiple targets simultaneously while clearing battlefields, old things. It was not something I had worked on. It was something that it was necessary for me to accomplish my goals when I would go on mission. From that POV, I was beginning to see actually the cables and how they plug into a human being. And then I noticed later that I could actually see which cables, say I had a client sitting in front of me or a friend, I could actually see the darker tinted or darker colored or shaded cables plugged into the right-hand side. And I noticed, I'm like, well, where are those going to specifically? You then follow that cable from where it's plugged into the vessel in the physical to, say, their fourth dimensional self, their lowest night form is what I like to call it, or their 5D self, their lowest light form. What I noticed is there are a bunch of these strings, let's just say, or connections that people have to one another in this soul family here on Earth. And to realize that sometimes you may be connected to things from your childhood that you are completely unaware of, that is buried somewhere in your unconscious. What happens is when you have too many of these, let's just say, I like to call them spider webs sometimes, because sometimes when you're clearing people, it looks like you're clearing spider webs off of them. And I always recommend when you're clearing somebody, you always work from the head down to the feet, and then you use your own energy to toss it away from their feet. Almost with the same energy you would throwing a jab. It's not like when you throw a jab in boxing, it's boom, there's an explosion and it's a fast pace or energy that comes to it. Many Reiki masters and healers and massage therapists need to understand that when you're clearing someone's energy field through those chakras, you never want to pull energy that's a blockage around their sacral and pull that energy up, obviously, towards their head. Many professionals already know this. You always want to clear from the head down to the feet. My thing is that I noticed that a lot of people, when they do clearings, I can actually see the almost like surfboard leash. Imagine a surfboard leash. Imagine 15 little surfboard leashes that actually sit on their ankles. You got to get your finger and run it next to the suit, right next to the skin, and just, not without scratching them, but you got to run your finger underneath those cables and then throw those cables off of their feet. If you don't do that with your own energy and push it away, as soon as they leave your presence, those things are waiting to plug back into them sometimes, as soon as they get back in the car and go home. If you actually can then trace the root of where the expression allowed that energy to interact with the field, mind you, then you get down to the really close nitty-gritty stuff of, well, where did you create that belief system? Who taught you that? Who caused that pain or suffering? Or, in some cases, for many of us strong, which you are out there listening to my voice right now, they will, if these, this is called the night forces, or these negative things, or these 4D ego programs, or this lower dimensional function, can't access you, what do? They access people in your direct family or friends that are unconscious, that do have a connection to you through your heartstrings or your heart. And that's how they'll access you, through the other unconscious person. To understand that every single person down here is responsible for their own energy. And with that responsibility, to really claim your sovereignty and wield the true form of awesomeness which you are, being responsible for your energy and how you reflect that energy to others is a true reflection of who you truly are outside of this hologram. So that reflection I share in a very simple way: treat others with love and respect, love everyone, do your best to have compassion and patience. But these are things that are not only like moral things. These are things that actually are the English vocabulary terms for maintaining a balanced harmonic field.
So it sounds like soul contract started for you because you were physically seeing the cables.
I saw them first, and I was like, hey, highest light, what is this? Why do I see, I'm driving in Los Angeles, ladies and gentlemen. I can see everyone's higher self standing on top of the car that everyone's driving in like a 3D SimCity program, and I can actually see the frequency coming off of their crown. I can actually see the frequency of the hypnosis, or that lower dimensional frequency, streaming off the top of people driving and their cars. What I'm trying to explain is kind of like the visual aid, right? It didn't come to me inherently. It was more like a monkey see, monkey do. I saw that and I go, what is that? Highest, or my higher selves, right? Why is that? What is that? Why is those cables? Why do I see a bunch of darkness or dark cables plugged into that vessel? My highest would say, well, son, they're operating in a lower, belief structure, and that pain, suffering, and that night side stuff, that's the color of it, salt and pepper. Pepper's the night, light's the salt. Salt is light and pepper is night. Left is light. Your heart is on your left-hand side for a reason. Ladies and gentlemen, it has nothing to do with your mind or your brain or how you perceive reality. Your heart is on the left. Your light is on the left. Your right is your night. Okay? Your right is your sending hand. Your left is your receiving hand. Your right is your sending foot. Your left is your receiving foot. When you're summoning energy from the grid or pulling energy from the sun, you pull in with your left hand, your left palm, your left foot, your stomach, whatever that may be. But just to remember that when you shake someone's hand, right? That's sending hand to sending hand over here in North America. Send to send. Okay? There's also some tricks you can do to protect yourself when giving hugs and handshakes. And actually you emit your energy and you flex your abs when you're giving someone a hug, per se. You flex your abs and you push your golden energy out. Why? So when you're giving someone a hug, none of their unconscious things can jump on you. You're pushing through their field with your golden energy and pushing all that stuff even out of that being who may not be aware of it.
Okay, so you're seeing these attachments and cables to programs or people from the past, correct?
Yes.
But are these also at times agreements that you've perhaps made before incarnating here?
Absolutely.
And now no longer apply to you?
Well, people, let's be clear. The generation that is my age right now, us indigos, we're not from here. We have lives here, maybe 2 or 3 lives. I've also seen the simulation program screens when we come in here from different planets. They kind of sit us in a big auditorium and they show us all the world events that have taken place on Earth in the last 5,000 years. So we're all sitting there watching a movie. So we have flashes of these movies. Some of us were here, some of us weren't. Some of our aspects that are connected to the suit were here. For example, the suit you're wearing right now has a consciousness. Your DNA has a consciousness. Say, for example, your great-grandfather walked off the battlefield in World War I, had kids. In World War II, your other grandfather, right, walked off the battlefield in World War II, had kids. Your parents, right? Your dad may have been in the Korean or Vietnam War, okay, had you. You have all of these things that suit that you're wearing has experienced. The experiential function of the suit as being a survivor, remember, you're wearing a suit that survived. You're not wearing the suit that didn't make it off the battlefield or you wouldn't be here. These suits have certain memories. We like to call it your bloodline, right, or your family. but there's also a bloodline chain of all the DNA and consciousness that's actually comprised of your suit that you're walking around in. You could be a high angelic upper dimensional being that slammed into this planet like a white comet in the 80s or late 70s or 60s, and then you had to pick a suit that would fit. I remember picking my mother and my father. I picked my father because he was one of the most loyal generals I knew, and I knew if I came through him that I would be raised and I would be safe. I knew my father before I got here. Many people, I wish would understand when they chose their parents, you actually selected them. What is this selection process? What is the probability of that DNA activating once certain things take place on the surface of this world? We are incarnated during the Great Transition, right? We chose to be here at this time, okay? So what I'm trying to get to is understand what is your energy, right? That source energy, that kernel of awesomeness in creation itself, and then what you're actually driving around in. Like, for example, if the suit of this planet that everyone's wearing right now, that's called a human suit. Imagine that if it was a brand of car, it's a Toyota. Everyone's driving around in a Toyota. Well, what kind of engine do you have in that Toyota? Do you have a Porsche engine, a Ferrari engine? What kind of braking system? Do you have Porsche brakes? What kind of steering column? What kind of carburetors? What kind of fuel injectors? How is it a V8? Is it a V12? Right? What I'm getting to is we are hybrids of a function wearing the same suit to propagate a test, which I like to call emotional rehab. As many different species and intergalactic species that are running experiments on this planet are then choosing to mix. Your higher selves are not all from the same place. They're from different star systems all over the world, all over the galaxy, all over the world. The world was the universe from all over the world. Okay. We are down here learning how to drive as we simply wake up out of a coma. If you think about we're on channel 3, well, what's on channel 4? The 4th dimension. What's on channel 5? 5th dimension. Okay. What's on channel 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12? Once you hit 12 dimensional level, you're basically deity level and up. Duality kind of ceases. There's still light and night, but everyone knows what's going on. The main function of this planet in which we're balancing is from dimensions 12 to 3. So it's not like this in the universe. It's not like this in other galaxies. We're going through a birthing process of actually trying to, no, we're not trying, we're like Yoda. We are balancing many different species, processing it, balancing it, feeling it, using our inner children and our golden hearts to harmonize it as we evolve on the surface of this world right now, at present, as of right now, as you hear my voice. That is some of the things that are going on right now. There are things your higher selves are learning. Okay? Your higher selves do not have everything figured out. Ladies and gentlemen, let me be completely clear to you. As above, so below. There are many aspects on your light side on your left and your right side on the right. And if there's more information, you guys can look at the chart. I actually created a multidimensional template for you, and you can find that at teamlight.com, right? And expresses in
not
some
yet.
other way.
Sorry. Well, you can't physically find it. You can find the video though.
The video.
I'll try and get that link for you.
Will be up. Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's some of the things. It's the question you ask, right? There's a variation of the question, but the depth of the question because everyone wants to know why. I know when I woke up in 2009, I was like, why? Why is everyone plugged into this game? Why does no one see the cables? People see auras, they can't see the cables. And I was realizing that the more your third eye gets dialed in, the more your workout routine, your sun charging, the decalcification, then comes in that extra layer of clarity. Almost like, imagine when you're looking through your third eye, it's like a camera lens. You have to work the zoom. You have to work the calibration to actually get the focus. You got to focus it in. Oh my God, I see the frame. Whoa, that's what it looks like? A lot of people when their third eye comes on, they just see a gray outline of a being. Well, you keep developing your third eye, you'll see that being has earrings, an outfit, toe ring, blonde hair, blue eye. I mean, there's all kinds of different variations. It's not everyone. It's like, the boogeyman or the ghost variation on this planet is like staring through a 1940s television. It's black and white and they're static. When you keep developing your third eye, though, here comes the color, here comes the focus, here comes that 8K, here comes the, hey, can you hear me? Whoa, I can hear you, my throat chakra, right? Like this episode has come on. I can actually hear you and see you. So, it's something that's really cool. And honestly, for all the bells and whistles of this world, and for how old we really are and what we've had on this planet. I'll speak to you for a second about this. There's nothing more important incarnating into any world that you would go to. The most important thing you have to do is remember who you are. That's number one, not your mortgage, not your job. These are survival things to exist down here. That is not the epitome of creation itself. Remembering who you are makes everything that much easier because you have all these hidden skill sets and abilities that are sitting right in front of your face. You just can't see them. When you step into that patience and that peace of mind, that quietness and that stillness and that oneness which is in your heart, and you ask your soul, hey man, lady, source, the original creator of my soul, help me out down here, bro. I need some assistance. What am I trying to remember? Help me remember something that will facilitate and assist me in my 3D life. Help me balance. Help me maintain balance. Help me maintain my health and my happiness and my abundance and all my friends and family. You start ask for big things. Stop asking for small things. Ask for things that are Father, Mother, God, original creator of my soul. Allow me to become stronger every single day so I may serve others. Allow me to remember who I really am so I may do my job, right, to the utmost and help as many beings as I possibly can in this limited time I have on the surface of this world in this physical suit. Help me. I want to grow. I want to expand. I want to remember. Please assist me in activating my dormant DNA and truly embodying the maximum potential of what this suit, your body, can do. These are some of the things coming from your heart, right? Heart's 10 times stronger than your mind. Your heart electromagnetic field is 10 times the strength of your mind. So what if I told you every time you want to manifest something in your life, you're only using 1/10 of your power output? That golden sphere that interacts with the matrix around you, when you only use your mind, you're only using 1/10 of your power output. You guys are all driving around Ferraris and you can't shift out of first gear. Okay? It's very frustrating for all the upper dimensionals. Knowing your maximum potential is so awesome. When you come from your heart, you flex that left pectoral, use love and joy and bliss and abundance to create, to power up that Ferrari, and you start revving the engine, then think where you want to go. But first activate that heart.
That was great. So enter soul contracts, because that's really the focus here. Is that's been a huge tool in assisting with, I know, the clients that you have sessions with, and then I personally had really profound experiences. So enter soul contracts, boom, what is that really? And why is it impactful?
A soul contract is letting the universe and your higher selves and the Akashic records know that this vessel is now conscious enough to make decisions on their own. You're now 18 years old. You're now considered an adult. You can now, vote, let's just say. Whatever that is. You're 16, you can drive. At 18, you can vote. And, and 21, you're allowed to, whatever that is those kids do. You're allowed to go out there and party. Now listen, no matter what age you are in this suit, when you are conscious enough to take responsibility for your life and you notice some things are off, it is your job and your sovereign right. When people talk about claiming their power and claiming their sovereignty, you taking full responsibility of what you want to clear and what you want to manifest in your life, that is why soul contract is so important. It is a moment in time where you decide, hey, I'm awake now, let's go. Okay? It's a very personal thing. Usually when people do soul contracts, especially mine, there's usually a purging or crying at night when the actual cords are cut and they're being removed. This is what I want you guys to understand though. Imagine consciousness is like an ocean. The goal, let's just say the surface of this ocean is 5D. That's where everyone wants to be. Sandals Resort 5D. What if I told you I'm like Jacques Cousteau with a scuba tank on with a pair of garden shears, and I'm looking at people underwater going, mom, 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 I want to go home. I want to be in a higher thing. And I'm going, okay, let's cut this cord. I'm cutting these chains that are binding you to the lower mind. So when you're cutting these cables and you're trying to get to the surface, every single memory, every single thing that is unprocessed, imagine that as a cable, a chain, or a rope, right? Or a string that is locking you into a lower belief system that no longer serves you. Where we come from, ladies and gentlemen, Many of us chose to come down and have a physical experience. Let me be completely clear to all my starseeds, angelics, and everyone listening to me on Earth. 5D was my bottom floor. I have not been in a physical 3D suit in a very, very, very long time. Many of you have not been in a physical 3D suit in a very, very, very long time. This is not normal for us. So when we come here and we see how things are being run and we see what they're doing to the animals and the planet and all this jazz, we're like, this doesn't even make logical sense. I feel like I'm in some cheesy C- sci-fi movie, and I can't get out. I'm right there with you. But I'm here to express why some of us angelics and some of, the Nordics and the Arcturians and the Andromedans, even some of the Syrians and all the way up the food chain on both sides. Listen, the reason why this place feels so foreign is because it may have been a very long time since you were actually in this dense of an arena with this much weird conflict going on. Okay? I want you to remind yourself that, again, you're here to learn and stabilize in a very turbulent environment. But in doing so, we chose for a faster path of education. Choosing one incarnation right now on Earth is almost worth 7 lives worth of heartbreak, suffering. I'm happy. I'm sad. I'm addicted. I'm not addicted. I'm clean. I'm happy. I'm married. I have a dog named Woo Woo. I have a nice car. My car, there's, it's like you're riding a roller coaster. I can't believe what you said. Did you see what's on the news? Hey. The distraction on this planet is bananas. But if you can learn to balance your field, come from your heart and breathe. And know that you chose here for a very accelerated class in evolution and that you will graduate because you are the strongest of the strong, right? My fellow indigos out there, first wavers, second wavers, and third wavers, we are the alpha and omegas of this galaxy. This is not the C team on Earth. If the beings that were doing naughty things on this planet actually understood who incarnated and is walking around right now, on this planet, they would drop what they're doing in 1 second, right? 1 nanosecond. Just drop it. Why? Some of the game makers incarnated and are walking around in suits like undercover boss, not only viewing all of the vessels on this planet, but their higher selves. Okay? You guys think we're in the basement, which we are in the physical plane. I'm here to tell you there are guardians, right? Galactic guardians walking around in suits, staring at your higher self and actually going, are you actually participating to the degree of your maximum output? I see you pulling a lot of energy off of this vessel. I see it, you're serving your own individual motivation 80% of the time. Do you think that's actually facilitating your evolution and growth? You guys, you have to understand, in the same way that our higher selves view us, there are huge planetary guardians and galactic beings that are staring at them in the same stature, in the same way that you're being looked at right now. Once you understand that, right, that love, that creator's love is always around you, always supporting you. But I'm here to wake you guys up and to think that, hey, 3D is not the only issue on the plane of this planet, in this spectrum. There are many things being worked out right now for our benefit, for all. Just remember that. Sometimes you think your life is why is this happening to me? It's only happening to me. No, it's not. I've been with you at 3 a.m, waking up in the middle of the night with crazy dreams. I've gone through this purging stuff. I'm, 10, 11 years deep in processing. 24 hours a day, 365. I do not shut off. I'm online 24 hours a day. Okay? So what I'm trying to express is the goal is to be online 24 hours a day so you can actually manage your energy and you don't fall into the unconsciousness of the lower dimensions.
Well, that's what I love about the soul contracts, because to me that's a very mature and sovereign way to make a choice for something new and different. And I'm just going to get into astrology really briefly here, because I know that people out there are having dreams about old timelines, old boyfriends, girlfriends, old friend. All of this past version of us is clearing away, and we're stepping more and more to our true selves.
Right.
So there is sort of a toggle or a push and pull where some days you are feeling more of that empowered, true version of yourself. And then other days you may slip back a little and feel like, oh God, I'm going into these old programs. Well, I noticed this within myself. And more specifically, I started having dreams where every single night I was seeing ex-boyfriends. Like, I was like, oh my gosh,
you were living La Vida Loca.
I was living La Vida Loca.
All right,
It was super 4D in my dream time. No, I was seeing all of these exes, okay? And I was sick of it. I was like, I'm really done seeing all these people. Why do I keep repeating and seeing these people? Looping, exactly. Thank you. So enter soul contracts. I sat down with the soul contract that Rion offered me. I followed it. I did the ceremony, and the next night, the dreams stopped. Okay, so that's interesting, right? But furthermore, I literally had a phone call for 2 days in a row from one of these exes.
Oh,
they called me blocked. They left me weird voicemails. I knew it was them. And I had cut that cord, and it was so tangible that this person felt it and was like, and called. Okay? Oh. Not once, but twice. Okay? So that was my first experience, and that's why it's so powerful. And then I was like, dang, yo, I can really get into this soul contract thing. Okay? So now I'm just going to go back briefly to, again, this 2020 timeline that we're on. And I know more and more of you are feeling, again, that truer version of you, all of this processing and clearing finally moving away so you can get to the true of your spirit, right? All of this is starting to clear away. You may be having a lot of nightmares because of that, because you may be seeing a lot of the past. Again, this looping that steps in. So that's what happened with me. It was like, especially with this eclipse energy that's going from Cancer and Capricorn. Cancer rules motherhood, childhood, and then Capricorn rules the father energy, how we show up in the world, right? So because of these eclipses, it's really helping us shake off and dust off what is no longer valid to us. So I was having nightmare after nightmare after nightmare, and I am not a person that has nightmares.
Right.
I'm really lucky that I don't have nightmares very often. If I do, it's something like, oh my God, I was fighting with my dad. I was having gnarly nightmares. I was like, enough with the nightmares. I get it. Whatever it is that I wasn't stepping into, whatever moment it was that I wasn't speaking my truth, that I wasn't honoring myself, I'm done with that, and I'm ready to move forward. So I did the soul contract, and the next night completely changed dream times. I was not having the nightmares anymore.
Because you're now in control of your own consciousness. You're stepping up and going, hey, enough's enough. It's time for me to grow.
Right. And the ceremony of doing the soul contract is bigger than just letting it swim around in your mind and perceiving that, okay, well, I see what it's trying to show me. No, do the soul contract, write it down, and really become a viable player in this game by taking initiative that way. And so doing the ceremony of the soul contract, again, I had two really impactful experiences with, which is why I was so inspired to share this, because again, with the energetics of what's happening in the cosmos right now, it's really an important time to do this. And Pluto, okay, the planet of Pluto is the planet of transformation. When Pluto steps in, it rips apart, it seeks truth in order to transform into a higher expression. So where Pluto is in the cosmos, Pluto is conjunct with Saturn under the sign of Capricorn. That hasn't happened in 500 years.
Huge.
So there's a level of transformation that we're going through that is not only happening personally, but is happening collectively. So this transformational time, this deep clearing that Pluto offers us in really important areas, is allowing us to step into more of our truer self. So take advantage, do these soul contracts. Don't just see that these dreams are happening or these old timelines are showing up. Take initiative, do the soul contract, and say, okay, got it, done, universe. Put it in the Akashic record. I see it. I'm done. I'm ready to move forward and change the record.
Absolutely. You know, especially in the beginning of me waking up, I'm going to teach you guys some more advanced stuff on how to not be scared of things you're going to see in the astral. I'm going to share 3 things with you, depending on how activated your third eye is. Okay, so when I used to wake up and I was doing these missions across the planet, I've been around the planet now about 6 times. But in 2012, 2014, when I was clearing up, when I did my Egypt run in 2012, I gridded the entire eastern side of China, all the way from, I believe it was like Shenzhen, all the way down the coast. I think I exited Hong Kong on the very bottom. And when I got back from Egypt, I was carrying a ton of souls that I had to drop off in Sedona, Arizona. And I noticed that sometimes when you do these activations, they call it you're going to be fractaled. Usually when I got fractaled, what that means is they mean there's a chain of command switch in your stream, and you are picking up actual ancient pieces of yourself that are now attaching to your stream. Like imagine going around the world and picking up all stars that are you, that you left throughout time. Once I inserted about 6 to 8 of these aspects back onto my stream, my real memories came back. What I can share with everyone on this planet is that if you really want to know who you are, go to certain places on Earth. In 5 days, you can take a flight on cheaptickets.com. Just get over there, get a cheap hotel, get to the activation site, meditate there for 2 or 3 days, pick up your soul piece, come home. If you guys did that, you could actually knock out 3 or 4 of these huge aspects of yourself and get it done within 45, 50 days. Now here's what happens though. When I got back from Egypt, it took me about 3 months, 6 months to put myself back together. I was fractaled. I had a new aspect that I picked up on from the Sphinx, one of the main doorways on and off this world to the Akashic Records and the underworld, and it's a causeway, is right on the back right-hand side of the Sphinx. You sit there. I was on a camel. I got my activation. There's a video called 2012 Activation on Unite the Collective YouTube channel. And has all the activation points, longitude and latitudes for you that I traveled, especially in 2012. Why this is important. Some of your aspects and some of your higher selves are still trying to figure out who they are and what they're doing. But I'm going to express something to you about cause and effect. If I go and pick up my soul piece, say your whole life, your 8th dimensional version is the one who actually controls the collar over your throat chakra, and that's why you can only hear them or the night side speak to you. It's very difficult for you to hear your light side. This is what I find many people in the population are dealing with. They can hear all the weird ego things from the right side of their face or the right ear, but it's very difficult for them to hear that, awesome, angelic, you're doing a great job from the left. Okay? You're going to be fine. You're doing great. You're safe. From the left. When you go pick up your soul piece, the night side works by cause and effect. Your night side on the right-hand side will never hand you 1 ounce of power in this place. The only way they hand you power is but through energy exchange and cause and effect. If you go pick up your soul piece in my Anunnaki piece, which I did in Egypt, they have to take my collar off. It was a contractual function of law. It was not a request. It wasn't an option. I got my power back by showing up and doing my job. I want to express this to you guys who are finding yourself sometimes buried in clutter and chatter and all this jazz. Listen, you activate your dormant DNA in that suit, you will never ever want to go back to the unconscious level that you were before. There is no amount of money on this planet that they even have in all of the coffers above and below ground that I would ever trade to not actually know who my higher selves are, hang out with them, chill with them. There's nothing the physical plane can offer you from who you truly are. I just want you to understand there is no object they can hand you in the physical that is worth you not knowing who you really are, why you're here, and who your soul is. It is the most awesome thing anyone in their own personal way in this adventure of life could ever figure out. I just want to share that with you because I think there's a lot of distraction down here. Ladies and gentlemen, wait till your higher selves want to teach you how to move clouds, call in rain, move energy through the ground, move objects, hear animals, hear the water, scan an environment from 3,000 miles away, right? Help people, help animals. Just having that sort of access to the grid, having that sort of access, right? An ability to expand far beyond what you've ever experienced before. Would you ever limit yourself based upon some sort of a trinket that anyone down here can hand you? You show up here with nothing. as a little baby and you leave here with nothing. The only thing you keep are the experiences and the memories you make of you helping your family and having awesome memories. Go for the highlight reel and literally Control Alt Delete all this baby BS, negative Debbie Downer stuff that we've been force fed since we opened our eyes in this place. It's not real. Once you realize you are stronger than the programmers that made that code, that wrote that program, that produced that show, when you actually start realizing these are small little things that are wrapped around, that are at your ankle. When you stand up, they're like ankle biters. Okay? Lower dimensions are like ankle biters. When your true energy form stands up, sits up, and then stands up, these lower dimensions reside around your ankles. That's how big you truly are. Okay? All of these beings and all of these guardians are watching us, monitoring us to make sure that when we wake up, we don't cause more of a scene or more collateral damage, right? Or more of the same stuff that has been plaguing this planet for quite some times, ever since Lemurian Mu were battling, and Atlantis, and Egypt, the whole thing, guys, all the way to now. We've always had some sort of weird conflict on this planet. Now listen, the goal right now is who's actually prepared and ready to graduate. This is not an opinion. It's not an option. It's a choice. Do you want to evolve? Or do you want to stay down here, right, for another cycle? Quarter cycle, half cycle, whatever it takes. My thing for you guys is, and many of us who show up here on mission, everyone listening to my voice probably doesn't want to reincarnate back into 3D. That's usually 99.9999% of everyone I've ever spoken to. Okay? We are very old souls pretending every single day we are here.
But I also want to add that that's another reason why I think it is so important to really revere the time that we have on this planet right
precious.
now and every moment, because we know we came here for a purpose.
Yes.
And our souls are graduating and we won't need to come back, perhaps, at least not in the way that it is now. And so let's enjoy the dance.
The beauty of Gaia is so awesome. You guys, this place is a magical playground. We've been born with a blindfold on. If you guys have ever done a visual medicine where you guys could see through the veil for a second, it's the most gorgeous fractalization of awesomeness you ever could imagine. What I'm trying to express to you is that is happening around you at all times. The only thing that dictates which channel you're watching is your belief system and your emotions. If you're in a bad mood, you're going to think about bad things. If you're in a good mood, you're going to think about good things. The more good things you think about, the more abundance you call to your life, and the more the universe provides. Okay? You can never outgive the universe. Remember that.
So, just to sort of come to a close here now, the soul contracts are something that you can do at any time. Let's just put that out there immediately. You can do this at any time. But as we know, if you are going to do a manifesting soul contract, that's one that you're going to want to do along with the new moon. And if you're going to do a clearing soul contract, that's going to be more amplified during a full moon. And if you do this in conjunction with eclipses, it's going to be even more powerful, because a solar eclipse is like a new moon on steroids. A lunar eclipse is like a full moon on steroids. So that's really going to amplify things. But you can do it right now, today. I didn't wait for it. I was like, I'm sick of these nightmares. I'm sick of these boyfriends. I want to stop seeing all of these loops. And I just did it and shut it down right then and there.
Talk about burning even the photos in the old journals of the belief systems you used to have.
Yeah, if you're going to collapse the timeline, you're going to want to physically collapse that timeline by going through your items, photos, emails, because even technology has a lot of stuff trapped in it, right? And clearing all of that out, getting rid of it. Why do you need it? It's just anchoring you into an old timeline and an old paradigm that doesn't serve you anymore and just isn't applicable. Okay. The card we pulled today is from the Akashic Records Oracle Cards deck, and this is by Amanda Romania. And I really love this deck because it is a functional working deck that inspires you to take action and co-create with the universe and the Akashic Records. So the card that we got when inquiring about the collective Akashic Record and what we are clearing was the throat chakra. And bam, that is a big one, I think, for everybody. So I will read what it says. Bring forward the gifts of truth and trust. Surround yourself in blue light. Trust yourself and release any Akashic records and situations where you have not spoken your truth. Use sound and music to heal, clear, and gain clarity. So is there anything here that resonates with you that you would like to share or elaborate on?
Well, I chose the card. The throat chakra is how you hear your higher selves. If you guys ever seen a video of me, why I always have my headphones on, my noise canceling headphones. I'll tell you what happened to me in the physical as a reflection of this. I always keep my headphones on when I'm in public. And I always keep my left earbud in, listening to some normal, really nice music or something that makes me happy. 80s music, Weezer, whatever it is, like Sweet Dreams are made of these by the Weezer cover band. Weezer did it. Makes me happy. Why? I control the frequency I exist in. I do not let my environment control my frequency. If you're in a large city and you wake up to sirens and this and so much distraction, oh my goodness, ladies and gentlemen, I control my frequency. So this is what happened to me. I went to Vegas. I gridded the Hoover Dam. So I was inside. I got into all of the water systems that Vegas uses. Every single pipe, water, faucet, shower. And I was running my energy into that place as I was clearing it about 3 years ago. We grabbed 2 or 3 turds, black bag specialed them, and then we kind of chilled. That's more of like an intergalactic hub because, as you guys will know, in the bottom of the Caesars Palace Hotel, there is a way station that actually takes you out through different trams to underground bases throughout Nevada. Anyways, might be a little too much for right now, but yeah. Anyways, I'm walking through the casino to the ching, 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 and I had my headphones on, and I had my own music on. I was in my own sphere. I was in my own bubble, and I started exploding golden light out of my body and swallowing the casino. And this is the craziest thing. I opened my eyes. I had my sunglasses on. I was walking through, the lobby or whatever, the casino. And I opened my eyes, and every single person had their head tilted towards me. I mean, like 300 people were all looking at me. And they weren't consciously looking at me. Their higher selves literally took the vessel and rotated their head so they could actually see in the physical who that was walking through the casino. Okay? When you control your frequency, you are actually operating outside of the matrix controls. You're outside of the hypnotism. You're outside of that function. I keep my left ear plugged because that's my receiving side on my body, my left ear. That's where I receive. I receive my own frequency that I control through my music and playlist. If you want to talk to me, I pop my right ear. Mind you, my throat chakra can have complete 100% comms to my higher selves while I'm listening to music. I don't use my ears to hear my higher selves. I use my throat chakra. So in reference to this card and being able to speak to your higher selves, which many channelers do and trans channels do, like Bashar, to understand that that is an access to a different, higher version of yourself that probably has a lot more perspective, right, on how you should live your life and what you should do. That being the case, please do not ever listen to anything coming from your right ear that sounds like a Slytherin or, I can't believe she did it. We should get him. We should sue him. All these negative things come from your right-hand side. That's like your ego side. It's your lowest night form, your fourth dimensional self. So, what I'm expressing to you is in controlling your frequency, activating your throat chakra, paying attention. What I did is when I first woke up, I gave my access of who could talk to me to my fifth dimensional self. So, I had a very strong connection to my fifth dimensional self, right? So what I did is if any being ever wanted to talk to me, I would go, yo, 5, go see what that dude wants. Because I keep getting boop. You guys ever get the tones? Boop in your left ear or boop in your right ear? Whenever I got a tone, especially on my left side, now on my right side, that's for another video, or another video, another interview. But I would say, yo, 5, what does that being need? My 5D would then run up my stream, go up and over to the dimension where the being was, have a conversation, come back down my stream, and in my own language, in my own cadence, in my own vocabulary, which, by the way you speak to yourself, the words you use, the cadence, and how you speak is your password encrypted software auditory program. No one can copy my higher selves. They know how I speak. Okay, this is why this is very important. There are beings that will try to show up on your right-hand side, okay, that will try to be like, oh, I'm your higher self. I think you should do this. They're not your higher selves. Okay? Stop listening to your fourth dimensional version of yourself, period. Why? They are simply teenagers with karma credit cards swiping your energy for their existence. When you actually see your fourth dimensional self as a teenager, you'll begin to understand how old you truly are. Okay? 70, 90, what have you. So with that, try to run all the information through when you're activating your throat chakra through your 5D to get that information for you. Then run that information back to you. If not, your throat chakra will turn on and you get the cafeteria. The cafeteria is you hear all voices around you. I hear this, I hear that. It's almost like you have auditory hearing. You go, whoa, whoa, whoa. One microphone, highest light. My 5D's got the mic. You want to talk to me? You got to talk to my 5D. My 5D will translate it to me. Keep it very simple, very singular, and very direct. If you do that, it stops 99% of the confusion that people try to push on you in this field.
Thank you for bringing in that the throat chakra is connected to being able to auditorily receive messages from our higher self. So that's really pivotal. And what I'm also getting from this card is how much the throat chakra has been locked up and in a non-optimal functioning place due to past fears, not only in this timeline, but in timelines before and lifetimes before. So again, this Pluto energy coming in is helping us clear all of these lifetimes where perhaps you were part of the Salem witch trials, or perhaps you were persecuted in some way from speaking your truth and this truth that we're vibrating to right now. So this throat chakra is a collective cleansing of where we are finally getting back to a space where we are brave enough and clear enough to speak our truth and share our truth. And please get up and do so, because every single person that you inspire and awaken can shift an entire timeline. And all of these timelines are interconnected because we are interconnected. And this helps the whole. So that's all I have to say about that. I'm really excited about this topic today, and I hope that some of this assists you, resonates with you. Please let us know how these soul contracts work out for you. I'm going to figure out a way to include the PDF file of the soul contract that Rion offers in his sessions. Because I would love for you guys to experience this and then give us feedback on what you experienced in doing this ceremonial soul contract.
They want me to share, to wrap, the visual of when it turns gold. When you're doing your soul contract, imagine you have two pieces of paper. On one piece of paper, you write everything you want to clear. On one piece of paper, you write everything you want to manifest. Okay? Once you're finished with what you want to clear, you hold in your left hand. Usually I like to do this outside in the sun. I have an empty flower pot in front of me because I'm going to burn this piece of paper when I'm done.
I was going to say, definitely do this outside. You don't want to be doing a clearing contract in your bedroom in a sacred space
or
of
even
yours.
in your fireplace. You remember, these are things you don't want.
No, outside, let Gaia take care of it and ground it. She loves to envelop that and transform it.
Yes. So what I do is I take what I want to clear, I hold it in my left hand. I say, highest, can you file this in the Akashic? Usually my 7 or my 9D will step down from my left-hand side. I'm holding onto the piece of paper with my left hand. I loosen my grip with 3D. I still hold on to the paper and the physical. My 7D or 9D will say, release. My energy hand will open. They will take the piece of paper, which is glowing gold. Mind you, when you're holding the piece of paper, wait till you can visualize the entire piece of paper turning gold. Okay? They then take the piece of paper from you, say release. They take it up 3 floors. You know you're in the Akashic Records as soon as you see the white marble floors in the white columns. They will walk over to a file cabinet. It'll have your first, middle, and last name, your birth name, time and date where you're born. As soon as they open the file cabinet and they file that form, and that file cabinet is closed completely, boom. It is now filed in the Akashic Records. Please give the courts of heaven 2 weeks to make adjustments in your life. Do that once for what you want to clear, and then burn the piece of paper when you're done. And make sure it's burned to a cinder. Every single piece of that paper is burned to ash. Then do what you want to manifest. And just like the beautiful Miss Shauna Ava requested, I request doing this for 3 moons. So for the next 90 days, every full moon you clear, every new moon you manifest. Every full moon you clear, every new moon you manifest for 3 moons, 90 days. Why? Because every single time you do it, as more and more things come to the surface to be purged, you will ask for different things to be cleansed from your subconscious, which are buried in your subconscious, which you might not have thought about since you were 9 years old. Okay? 12 years old, 15 years old, 17 years old. Allow these things to come to the surface so you can then clear them and officially document that these things are no longer, thank you for the experience, but now I am on to a higher level of game.
And definitely clearing first. If you're going to initiate this on a full moon to clear, I would definitely clear first, because that opens your container up to more of your truth and more of your power, and then you'll know truly what you're looking to manifest without all of the noise and distortion and interference that might be there prior to clearing. So I wanted to add that. We have a PDF file. I'm hoping I can do like a Google Docs. I don't know. If I can't, just email support@teamlight.com and I will gladly send you the soul contract. There are power words that are in this document that we have. Definitely follow it as you can, but be creative and inspired and listen to your own guidance and how you want to create this ceremony for yourself, because this is a personal thing. So if it comes to you to chant when you're clearing, if it comes to you to sing or include sound bowls or to whatever it is, it doesn't have to be so fine line. Allow your own guidance to guide you in this.
Absolutely.
With that, thank you so much.
Yeah, it's been an absolute pleasure.
Yeah, I'm really excited about this, and I hope that this is something helpful to your journey. Rion, thank you for being here. Again, this is Shauna Ava. Thanks for tuning in to Heart on Radio.
Thanks for having me.
Love you guys so much, and thanks for being our epic family across the globe doing this together.
Yes.
Together. The universe
shall
provide.